Alright, so what do we have right here? So this is the third video. Alright, so this is the third video for our topic called evolution. So in this topic, or in this video, we will going to discuss what are the evidences of evolution. So we all know already what is an evolution. So how evolution that the evolution takes place, but the question here is, what are the evidences that evolution occurs? All right, so we already have an idea that the animals changes, or animal changes. Not only animals but plants also changes over time. So the question here is, what are the evidences? So how do we know that there is something called evolution? Alright, so let's start first with the word evidence. So how do we define evidence? This is the available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or proposition is true or valid. Alright, so meaning to say that when we present evidence, we need facts or information that will support that idea, that particular idea. So what's the idea here? Evolution. What is needed? Evidences. So evidences can be by observation or an actual specimen or actual object that will support a particular idea, which is the idea called evolution. All right. So these are the evidences of evolution. So in this video, we will going to discuss first is the biogeography. What is biogeography? The comparative anatomy, comparative embryology, then the molecular biology. Alright, so how are these four related to evolution? How are these four supports the idea of Charles Darwin called evolution? So let's find out. Alright, so let's start first with the biogeography. So biogeography is defined as the geographic distribution of species. So in this evidence, we will try to find out why some organisms, or why some not only plants or animals, why some organisms look the same but completely different in terms of their physical appearance. Alright, so let's try to find out here. Alright, so let's take a look at some examples of animals that is one of the evidences here in evolution in biogeography. So there is a rhea. These are flightless birds, technically. So the flightless birds are scattered around every continent. So every continent has its own flightless bird. So we have the emu. Unfortunately, this is already extinct. So we have the cassowary. So in New Zealand, we have the kiwi. This is very small. But the thing here is, why are they flightless? So the question here is, why they look the same. Alright, why they look the same, but they are completely different from each other. Alright, so that's the question here. Next one, we have your somewhat anteaters over here. So these animals here are anteaters. So as you can see, they are all anteaters, but the thing here is they look different in terms of physical appearance. Alright, but they are distributed all throughout the continent. So in Oceania, there's a spiny anteater, there's a giant pangolin in Africa, we have a giant anteater in South America, and armadillo in North America. So why do they look, why they have the same characteristics? They have the same characteristics but different in physical appearance. Next one. Alright, we have the camel. So we have the Arabian, we have the Bactrian camel, and we have the llama. Alright, so you notice that the difference between the three. So we have one hump, two hump, and then no hump at all. So the thing here is, they're all camels. They are part of the family of camels. But the question here is, how they become like this? So how they become three organisms, three different species, but they are completely the same. Alright, they belong to the same. They look the same. Alright, over each other. So that's the question here. So the question was, how did the arrangement of the continents have an effect on this what they call biogeography? So does the continent have an effect here? Does the movement of the continents have an effect here? So, yeah. So, technically, the answer is, alright, so you are correct. The answer is yes. Alright, so the answer is yes. So, the movement of continents affected how the organisms are distributed. So, in my guess, probably these organisms they have one common ancestor. Alright, they have one common ancestor, and then that particular ancestor is located in one place. Then when the continents separated, as well as the population of that their ancestors are also separated, then what happened? They adapt. Alright, they adapt to a new environment in which they live in, and then that's how they got their appearance different from the other same group. Alright, so that's biogeography. Alright, so next one, the comparative anatomy. So in this case, it's the comparison of body structure in different species. So in this case, we will try to find out if there are some body structures that are the same in one species, and that particular body structure can be found on the other species as well. Alright, so let's start. So we have here the similar but different. Are there structures which looks similar but different in terms of function? Alright, or it's something like similar in function but different in structure. So let's try to find out. Alright, so let's take a look at this polar bear. Alright, so they look similar. Yes, they are bear. Alright, so no doubt. But one bear, the polar bear, lives in cold regions, and the polar bear lives in temperate region. Or the grizzly bear rather. Yeah, the grizzly bear over here. Yeah, this is the grizzly bear. So although they are the same, but their appearance is different. Alright, and the environment itself has something to do with their differences. Okay, so next, this is a fish, and this is a dolphin. Alright, so what makes them different? This is a mammal. So this is a mammal, and this is a fish. Alright, so you know already the difference between a mammal and a fish. Alright, but what makes them similar? The one that makes them similar is that they both live in an aquatic environment. So both of them live in aquatic environment. So, alright, so how do I know that they live in aquatic environment? So both of them have flippers. Alright, so one has an organ, or this one is fin and this one is flippers, but the thing here is it functions for swimming. Alright, so that's one part here that we were going to answer. Alright, so how did those structures be part of the evolution? So how did those structures evolve rather? Alright, so let's start first with structures that are called analogous. So analogous structures are features of different species that are similar in function but necessarily in structure, but which do not derive from one common ancestral feature. So meaning to say, these are features, or these are structures, alright, these are structures with similar function, but different in appearance, or but different in structure. So similar function but different in structure. So meaning to say, a wing can be seen on another organism. They look the same, or they look the same in function, but wings of butterfly and wings of birds are completely different. Alright, so let me give you one example. So we have a wings of bat, which is a mammal, and wings of bird, which is a bird. Alright, so which is a bird, and an insect. Alright, so technically this is a dragonfly's wing. So as you can see, they have one function: to fly, for movement. But the thing here, take a look at the structure. The wings bat, alright, so the bat wings is made up of bones, and also with the bird's wing. Yan. But the insect wings are not made up of bones. These are made up of a membrane structure, which also have a blood vessels embedded in it. So there is no bones here, but technically it is used for flying. All right, so this is a clear example of what they call an analogous structure. All right, so next one, eyes. All right, so this is the eye of the squid and our eyes. Even though they have the same function, but their structures are completely different. So the eyes of the squid have different structures than the eyes of human. All right, so they look the same. They have the same function but different structure. Next one. Alright, so that's the analogous structure. So what do we have right here? This is the homologous structure. So if the other one have the same function but different in structure, this one is same structure but different function. Alright, so same structure but different function. So meaning to say, why they become the same? Because of embryonic origin. Alright, so the structure has a particular similarity with embryonic origin. So when they were a fetus, or when they were a fetus, so those structures almost have the same origin. But the thing there is, it's a matter of how the animal use that particular structure that makes it different in function. That's the homologous structure. So what do you have right here? Alright, so the hands of tarsier gibbon, this is a monkey, the chimpanzee, and the human. So you know its function, right? You know already their particular function, our hand. But in the hands of tarsier and then chimpanzee, it is different. Alright, so although this hand that we have right here have the same function, or rather the same structure, but completely the same or different function. Because tarsier, the hands of your tarsier is used for climbing, but humans we do not use our hands for climbing. Alright, we use it for something else. Alright, so also with the chimpanzee and the gibbon. Yan. So we have different function of hand, but similar structures. Alright, similar in terms of structures. Alright, so that's the hand. Next one. Alright, so wings of your insect. Alright, so your flies have different types of wing. Alright, so but the thing here is the wings of your flies are completely the same in structure with the wings of your butterfly. And also the wings of your ladybug over here. So completely their structure are all the same. They are membranous wings. Alright, they are membranous wings. Now, probably those membranous wings have their one common ancestor. Alright, so what makes them different? Their function. Alright, so each function or each wings that you see here have its own different function. Probably the butterfly has colorful wings. This one doesn't have colorful wings. Alright, so this one have wings covered with something. So alright, so something like that. So that makes it different. So again, same structure but different function. Alright, next one. Alright, including our limbs. Alright, so our limbs. So as you can see, these limbs that we have right here are made up of bones. Alright, so this one, and this one. So, but the thing here is, the bone structure are almost the same. Alright, so the bone structure are the same. So we have your humerus, you have your radius ulna over here. So, alright, so we have your carpals over here. We have your tarsals over there. Yeah. So this yellow one is found in the cat. Alright, and also found in whale, and also found in bat. But the thing here is, humans have different purpose for their limbs. Cat also have different purpose for their limb. Whale also, we know that whale lives in the ocean. Alright, so they don't use it for something else. Alright, aside from swimming. And bat also is for flying. So although they have the same structure, but completely, these things that we have right here have completely different function. Alright, so there you go. Okay, so in this diagram, you will see, or you will know what is homologous and analogous structure is all about. Alright, so there you go. Alright, you just analyze these pictures that we have right here, and then I try to find out what makes this one not homologous, what makes this one analogous, these two organism analogous, and so on and so forth. Alright, so next. Alright, another structures are called vestigial structures. Alright, so alright, this is completely different from the analogous and homologous structure. These are structures, or these are somewhat an organ or structures in the body that completely lost all of its function. Alright, so this is so these are organs, or these are structures in the body that do not function at all. But there are some organisms that those organs, which are vestigial organs, are still present, that are still present in the body of the organism, but they don't use it for any purposes at all. So meaning to say, these structures have no or lost its function at all. Yan, the original function. Alright, so you have you know what is this structures talking about. So we have here the pelvis of the whale. Alright, so you know pelvis is present in some animals like humans, pelvis, because humans have hips. Alright, so we have here the femur. Femur is part of your leg bone. So in short, if the whale has these two distinct bones in its body, so meaning to say that once, long time ago, that your whale is a walking animal on land. Alright, so because these particular bones are, because these particular bones did not, or they lost completely all its function, therefore it is not completely developed anymore in whales. Alright, so they have still pelvis and femur bone, but the thing here is they don't use this for anything else. It's not for swimming also, not for whatever purposes they will use this. Alright, next one. Types of evolution. So what do we have right here? So we have here what they call convergent evolution. So the convergent evolution is the acquisition of the same biological trait in unrelated lineages. So we have your organism A and organism T. So what is this convergent all about? They will develop a set of organs, and they will likely to develop a set of organs or structure that are the same. Same in what? Same in function. Alright, same in function, but different in structure. Alright, why different in structure? Because they are not, these two is not related to each other, but they develop an organ which has the same function. Alright, so this is what they call your convergent evolution. So, unrelated lineages. Alright, so example of convergent evolution is your, alright, so the wolf. Alright, wolf is a placental mammal. Alright, and Thylacinus or the Tasmanian devil, which is already extinct, yan, is a marsupial mammal. As you can see here from its skull, it is almost if you take a okay, so if you're not taking it closer, all right, so if you're not looking it closer, you will not see any difference at all. But the thing there is, marsupial mammals like the Tasmanian devil and the wolf has completely different, all right, skulls over here. So this is a complete this is an example of your convergent evolution. Alright, next one. So this is the Tasmanian devil. Alright, so it resembles like a wolf, but it is not a placental mammal. Alright, so there you go. Alright, so we have here the koala and then the human. Alright, so what's their difference? Alright, so what's the similarity? We are both mammals. Alright, so we are both mammals. But the thing here is, that makes us different here is, this is marsupial and this is placental. Alright. So there you go. Next one. The duck-billed platypus and then the bird. Alright, so both of them have bills, or both of them have beaks rather. Yan, both of them have beaks and their feet is made up of a webbed version. Yan. So, what we have right here. And it also have scales. Alright. So, the thing here is, that's their similarity. But this is a mammal. This is a mammal. And this is a bird. Alright. So, they have features which are similar, but totally, those, their origins, or their group, in which they belong, is completely different. Alright, next one. Alright, so dinosaurs and birds. What makes dinosaurs similar to a bird? It's their scale. So they have their scale on their feet, which is also your dinosaur, because dinosaur is a reptile. Alright, so that makes them similar. But this is a reptile, this is a bird. So still different. Alright, different origin. Alright, next one. Alright, so we'll go back again to our anteater example. Yan, so we have the armadillo. This is an example of convergent evolution. Alright, so they are all anteaters. They are all anteaters. What makes them different is their physical appearance. Yan. Okay, next one. Alright, so some flowers and plant parts like flowers and leaves. Yan. So in orchids, right, this is their flower, but the thing here in birds of paradise, their flower looks like this. Alright, it is for attraction, but the thing here is it is completely different in structure. Alright, so there you go. Right, it looks different, yeah, but one function. Alright, next one. Alright, cactus thorns. Yeah. Alright, so cactus thorn. This is a leaf. Alright, this is their leaves. These are their leaves. Yeah. If you compare this into a mango plant, so the mango plant has wider leaves than the cactus plant. So, why do you think so? Alright, so just leave your answer in the comment section. Why do you think that the cactus plant have thinner leaves than the mango plant? Alright, so we have the cactus. Alright, so the next type of evolution is called the divergent evolution. So in this evolution, so two same organism, alright, same organism of same origin, alright, develop different organ parts. Alright, they develop a completely different organ parts. So same organism, but or same origin of that organism, but they develop two different organ parts. Alright, so this is true to some organism with homologous structures. Alright, so that's the divergent evolution. Alright, so example is the butterfly wings. Yeah. There are some small butterfly wings and there are some big butterfly wings, and including also their coloration. Yeah. This is a divergent evolution. Alright, next one. Alright, so mammals and marsupials. Alright, so yeah, so this is a divergent evolution. Both of them are mammals. Both of them are mammals, but their body structures are completely different. This is placental, and these are marsupial. This has pouch, and this has placenta. And here you go. Alright, so birds. Alright, so in this example, we have here the finches. Okay. We have here the finches. So in the finches, although they are the same organism, but they have different beak structure for different purposes. Alright, so some of them eat seeds, some of them eat flowers, some of them eat insect, and some of them crack seeds. Yan. Alright, so some of them drinks nectar, something like this. So same, different function, but same structure. Alright, next one. Right, so there you go, the Darwin finches. Okay, next one. Alright, so in the parallel evolution, so alright, so the development of the similar trait in differently, not closely related species, that is in the species of the same clan, but descending from the same ancestor. So in this case, same organism. Alright, same organism, same group of organism develop same group of structures. Alright, so this is the parallel evolution. So same organism over here, and then these are the structure. It's the same. Alright, same function, same structure. Right, so this is completely different from the homologous and then the analogous one. Alright, so alright, again, another example are the butterflies. Yan. So they resemble as parallel part of an example of parallel evolution. Alright. Alright, so their wings. Okay, their wings. Even though butterflies have different kinds of species, but still their wings are almost or always the same. Alright, in patterns. Yan. Of how they develop. The only difference is their color. Alright. Yeah. Next one. Alright, so this is an egg-laying mammal. So we have here the echidna. Alright, we have here the echidna. Echidna. Alright, so we have here the hedgehog. Yeah. Hedgehog. Alright, so we have here the porcupine. Alright, so all of them have spines. Alright, in their body for protection. So they are all mammals. They are all mammals, but the thing here is they develop the same organ there. They are all have spines. Alright, or spikes in their body for protection. Next one. Alright, so flying lemurs. Yan, this is one example of parallel evolution. Alright, so flying lemur, flying squirrels. Alright, something like that. Alright, so this is a rodent. Part of a rodent. So this one. Alright, so this one is a mammal. So this is a flying squirrel. Yeah, something like that. So, yeah. Their ancestors. Yeah. So, yeah. They evolve or they develop one particular organ which is similar to them, which is the ability to glide. Yan. This is the sugar glider. Yan. So one here is the sugar glider. So this one is the sugar glider. This is the flying squirrel. Yan. So yan. This is the flying lemur. Yan. So yan. So flying lemur. And this is their prehistoric ancestor. Right. Next one. Elephants. Alright, so their prehistoric ancestor and their modern counterpart. So as you can see, their nose is completely the same. Although, this one is long and this one is short. But its function is the same. Alright, so that's an example of parallel evolution. Alright, next one. Alright, so the third evidence of evolution is called the comparative embryology. So in this case, we will take a look at the embryo of each organism. All right, so their early development, and compare it with the early development of other organism. So to see if there are structures that appears during the development which is similar to each other. Alright, so that is comparative embryology. We compare the embryo of different organisms, animals, and then see to it if there are structures that are the same all throughout these organisms. Right, so what do we have right here? Alright, so in this picture you will see that the tail region, this green one, alright, so is seen in all organisms fetal development. Alright, so fetal development. Right, so, or early development rather. Alright, so humans have tail, chickens have tail, snakes have tail, salamanders have tail, and fish have tail. So, what does it mean? Alright, for you, what does it mean? So, just leave your answer in the comment section. So, not only tail, we have the pharyngeal slits or pharyngeal pouches. Alright, so in fishes, this becomes a gills. So in short, in the first place, all of these 5 organisms have same structures in their body. But when they grow up, so when this organism develop, they become completely different from each other. But once in their lifetime, they are completely similar to each other. So what does it mean? It means that, so you can pause this video to think of it. So it means that these 5 organisms here have one common ancestor. Alright, So why? Because this tail thing over here and the pharyngeal slits over here is common to each other. So which means that probably our ancestor have those kinds of features as well in their body. Alright, so there you go. Alright, so yan, this is the pharyngeal gill slits of what they called an amphioxus. Yan. So amphioxus. Yan. Alright, so this is an aquatic organism. Yan. Aquatic organism. It looks like aquatic. It looks like a fish. Yan. So it looks like a fish. You can take a look at it on the Google. So you can search it on the Google. How is it look like? So this is the pharyngeal gill slits, which is seen on this 5. Alright, so what do you think? Is this 5 organism look the same as this one? Alright, so the amphioxus or the lancelet. Yeah. As you can see, it looks different, but the thing here with the presence of the pharyngeal gill slits and then the post-anal tail that we have right here, it gives us an idea that probably those 5 organisms that we have earlier, this is their ancestor. Alright, our ancestor. So, yan. Who knows? This one evolved into a completely different organism. Alright, so who knows? Alright, that's how evolution works. That's one evidence. Alright, next one. Alright, so the final evidence that we have right here, since the discovery of the DNA by James Watson and Francis Crick. So because of that discovery, scientists are excited to find out if this DNA has something to do with our evolution. So how are the DNA completely different from each organism, from one over the other? So that's how the molecular biology as part of the evidences of evolution works. Alright, so it took about it studied the molecular basis, so technically the DNA. Alright, so technically the sequence of it. Yan. They are comparing the sequence of DNA of one organism to the other. Yan. And also not only the sequence, but also of how genes and its arrangement and its expression are also observed here. Alright, so next one. Alright, so what percent of your genes do you share? Alright, so meaning to say we have 18% of our genes is on the dandelion. Alright, so 26% of our genes is the same as yeast. 44% of our gene is the same with fruit fly. And 92% of our genes is the same as the mouse. And 98% of our genes, 2%, is the one that only 2% is the only thing that makes us different from this organism, humans. So in chimpanzee, we have 98% similarities in terms of genes. Alright, so this is what molecular biology talks about. Alright, so the similarity of sequences of DNA. Alright, next one. Alright, so this is the presence of hemoglobin in some organisms. So in humans, alright, so in humans, we have hemoglobin, as we all know. Also in rhesus monkey. Yan. Alright, so hemoglobin is also present in mouse, and also present in chicken, and also present in frog, and also present in fishes. Alright, so what does it mean? So it means that it has something to do with the DNA. So somehow our DNA is somehow the same with this organism that is presented right here. Alright, so next one. Alright, so if we will going to take a look one by one the sequences of the DNA, these are the differences. Alright, so the yellow ones, alright, so the yellow ones are the same, then the violet is the one that makes it different over the other. Alright, so there you go. Next. Alright, so what's the difference? I think in my own idea, so what's the difference or how humans and animals completely different over each other? do you think that humans are different from other animals? All right. So in some ways, yes, but in biologically speaking, we are not truly different with other animals, because some of our abilities, like this one, some of our abilities that we know that that is unique to humans, we took it from our relative animals. All right, so our on the other animals, to be exact. So the long-term memory, we took it from some species of birds. Counting, chimpanzees already did that ability. Yan, self-awareness, some animals also know what is self-awareness. Culture, dolphins also have cultures, and other stuffs that we have right here. Alright, so the only difference is that human from animals is that the ability to do complex thinking. Alright, so the ability to do complex thinking, and that is down to the brain. Alright, down to our brain. So that's what makes us different. But in terms of ability, so I think there's no difference at all. Alright, so yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that is the last evidence, the molecular biology. So before we end up our video discussion that we have right here about the evidences of evolution, I will leave you a quote coming from Charles Darwin. He said that it is not the strongest species that survive, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one who is most adaptable to change. Alright, so meaning to say, the organism which is capable of adapting to certain environmental changes or certain obstacles in life, yan, are the one who will survive. Not the intelligent one, not the strongest one, but the most adaptable, the person who, or an organism which is flexible, who can adapt readily to the change to the environment. So that is Charles Darwin. That is Charles Darwin's evolution. So this is the evidences of evolution. I hope you did learn something new from this topic, and that's all about it. Good day and God bless.